Today on Serenity Ridge Kitchen, we're going to open up the windows of my house because it's going to be starting to be filled with smoke as I'm going to be frying in a pan taquitos, making rolled up taquitos. They are delicious, but it makes a mess to make, but it's well worth it. So the windows are open and we're ready to go. So it's important to mix the cheese and the green chilies that I've already chopped up here, and the cheese is all grated, into this hamburger meat because that way the flavors of everything will just start permeating through the whole thing. So green chilies, my hands here. Handful of grated cheese. We may add a little bit more of that once we get it going, and we just start mixing it. I kind of like the idea of just getting my hands a little bit dirty here. As I mix all of this together, I'm starting to think about the fact that this is a mess. This is an absolute mess, getting all of this together, and just, it's a mess. And kind of makes me think sometimes, you know, we sometimes think our whole life is a mess. And we've got these things being added into our lives that we just can't control. We didn't ask for it, it's just happening. And yet what we find out is that when we're in God's hands, that He molds this mess that we're in right here, this mess like this hamburger meat and cheese and green chilies, and He molds us into whatever it is He's wanting to mold us into. And we're not going to stay this mess that we are right now. You know, out of this right here, two things I make out of this mess right here of this hamburger meat and cheese and green chilies is I make hamburger meat to put on to make hamburgers with. And oh, they are delicious with this flavor of the cheese and the green chilies just cooked into it. And I also make the taquitos that we're working on today. And it's just a great, great flavor. So that's what God does to us a lot of times, is He sits there and all those things that He puts into our lives that we don't understand, that He's using it to mold us and shape us into something much better. Hi, Steve Bisley here, founder of Serenity Ridge Kitchen. And I want to invite each one of you to subscribe to this YouTube channel so that you get every video of me cooking meals and showing how to prepare some great, delicious meals. Meals you want to use for your family, meals you want to use for parties, meals you want to use for snacks, meals you want to do for meal prep so that you always have something available in the freezer. All of this will be coming out in Serenity Ridge Kitchen. But I also want to ask you to consider becoming a Patreon member of Serenity Ridge Kitchen. The link will be in the comments below. But what you will see here is a step-by-step recipe and ingredients and everything involved in making not just the meals that I show on video, but other ones I'll upload the stuff for, just for you to be able to always have something at your fingertips. So consider becoming a Patreon member of Serenity Ridge Kitchen. Check out the notes below to get all the information for that. Now the next step here is to go ahead and just brown this meat like we normally would any other time, but it's already mixed with all the flavorings there. Now I am going to add just a little bit of other stuff to this, some homemade seasoning here that I like to put into pretty much everything, so that's enough of that right now. Maybe we'll make hamburger meat out of the rest of that stuff. Alright, so I've got some little homemade beef seasoning here that I'm just going to throw into here just to give it an extra little bit of seasoning here. That's going to be really good. Alright, so we've got our meat ready with the green chilies and the cheese mixed all in it, so we need to get our tortillas going. So again, 5 or 6 tortillas in a wet paper towel on a microwave safe plate, and we put them in for 45 seconds, and that makes them very easy to roll and get ready to go. Okay, we've heated up our tortillas. They're hot to the touch, so lay them out there, get ready to put the meat in there and get it ready to go here in just a second. Alright, tortillas on the plate. Take our meat mixture of the green chilies and the cheese that's all mixed in there. Put them into the tortillas. Like so. Important thing is we're going to roll our tortillas, but we've got to keep them rolled by using either toothpicks or small skewers. So I'm going to roll my tortilla here, and it will, once it gets into the frying pan, it will maintain itself a little bit better. Roll it up, put it where the fold side's on top, drive the skewer into it. Keep repeating, and then we will keep repeating this process with the rest of our meat, rest of our tortillas, making as many of these as we want to make. So right now, I've got 5 that I'm going to be doing. The oil is heating up for me right now. It's important that you have some tongs that you can use, because you're not going to have them into the oil for very long. It doesn't take long at all for these things to fry up and harden if your oil's in a good place. Alright, so let's transfer this over to the back of the kitchen and put them in the skillet of oil. Okay, so here I have several of them all rolled up and toothpicked or using a skewer together to help hold them together. Now I'm going to still have to hold it together with the tongs, and sometimes they fall apart, and those are just ones that you just eat a little bit differently. So let's get going and show you how to fry them. Alright, so I'll grab one here with my tongs. I put them into the oil and try to hold it together even though the toothpick's there until it hardens enough. I love that sound of that grease popping as long as it doesn't hit me. Alright, so take it out, move it over to the paper towel to absorb the grease, and put the next one in. It doesn't take very long at all, and they are going to be very good. Seeing a little bit of grease popping on me, and it's popping everywhere. So there'll be some cleanup to do, but that's part of the kitchen. Now, it might be a not bad idea to drain before I move over here to the paper towel. And again, put the next one in. Try to hold it together until the tortillas harden up. And it's done that now. I can keep it rotating to get all of the tortilla. And again, I'm putting them over onto a plate with paper towels. And once I fill up one layer, I'll put another paper towel over the top of that one. It'll be about 4, maybe 5 that I can fit on one layer. And then I'll paper plate over it, or paper towel over it, and then get ready to put the next layer over that one. And paper towels are there, basically, it's just to get that grease draining and absorb some of that grease. Now, just as a warning, your house is going to probably start filling up with smoke, which is why I have the windows open. I don't have my exhaust fan on right now because I don't want it having that noise while I'm showing you how to do this, but I think you've probably seen enough how to do this, so I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of them, and I'll do that with my fan on, and then we'll come back when it's over with and show you what they all look like. Alright, so that last one, that grease has cooled down a little bit after doing 5 of them now, and so it'll take a little bit longer here, so now I'm going to drain that grease. Oops, just dropped a piece of meat in there, but still plenty in there. Alright, so let's let that grease heat up a little bit. Alright, well, I finished doing my whole batch of the taquitos and even ate 1 or 2 of them that were starting to fall apart as I did it, because like I said, you probably will lose a couple in there that just won't quite stay together, but that's okay because you're making plenty. This is one of my favorite things to bring to like a Super Bowl party or to any kind of a potluck or anything that there's a bunch of people coming together and you're bringing finger foods or whatever. This is one of my staple go-tos. Let me encourage you to find something that you can bring that is your staple to go when you go to get-togethers, to fellowships, to parties, or whatever it is, that you find something that everybody is going to like and they want you to bring it back. I've got a few of those dishes that I do for different things. Like for Thanksgiving, I've got one that everybody just absolutely loves. And this is a great one of the Super Bowl parties or Final Four parties or anything like that. So find something like that, because there's just something about getting together with family and friends and just sitting around just enjoying each other's. You know, that's something that God wants us to do. He wants us to get together with other people and just enjoying fellowshipping with them, enjoying their company, talking, sharing life together. He didn't design us to go through life alone. He designed us to share life with other people. And so find something that you can do to help share your life with other people. I'll see you next time.